I really like to draw, but I also really like roller coasters. I like to draw roller coasters too, but I also like to draw dragons and create original characters. So today I have decided to combine all of those things. Today I will be showing you and telling you all of the lore about dragons I have created that are based off of Kings Island roller coasters. I'm sorry to say, I did not do this for every Kings Island roller coaster, but I did it for every major coaster at the park. First is Orion. Orion is the youngest member of the Kings Island family, but he's also the tallest, while at the same time being the smallest of the Giga class of the coaster kind. Every time Orion would go to visit the other Giga coasters, Fury would make fun of him for being smaller than the others and say that he's just a hypercoaster. Despite this, he never let this get him down, and he actually has a pretty enjoyable life with his family. He especially has a strong bond with his older sister Diamondback. Orion's personality is sophisticated while at the same time also being pretty chilled and laid back. Orion loves spending time with his family and he's very talkative around them. He's not very too talkative when he's around other coasters he doesn't know well, but he still likes to talk and get to know other coasters. Even though Fury makes fun of him, he's friends with the other Giga coasters, especially Millie at Cedar Point. Him and Millie have been friends for a long time. Orion is taller than most other coaster dragons because he is 285 feet tall and can also fly up to 90 miles per hour, which is faster than most of them can fly. Orion can act pretty serious sometimes, but he's still fun to be around. When flying, Orion flies fast, and he also relies on side turns instead of doing inversions like some of the other coasters do. That is Orion's lore. I hope you like the speed paint I put up of him, and I hope you like his design. I designed this character a couple months ago, so the design may look a little bit different from my current art style, because I have changed my art style. It got better at drawing since I do this Orion character, but I didn't feel like I needed to redraw him because his design is still what I want it to be. All of the coaster dragons, all their tails are track, and so is their neck and their back. Most of the time, coaster dragons are the same color as the coaster they are inspired by, and they take elements from the design of the coaster, the theming, the logo, and just more stuff in general, just like the whole, how the coaster feels in general. Our next character is Banshee. Banshee sort of always felt a strong connection to the defunct coasters, especially a certain 200-foot wood-class dragon that used to stand somewhere near her spot. She could hear the screams and wails from the past. It's like his spirit was there next to her. She'd never known him. He died before she was born. Banshee wants to keep this a secret, so she mostly keeps to herself in general. She really doesn't want to open up to others or share much. She has secrets she doesn't want anyone to know. She can talk to different spirits of different defunct coasters. She really doesn't like it either. She never really exactly asked for it. She also thinks she might be able to raise defunct coasters from the dead maybe, but she doesn't really want to try. Banshee doesn't really have a strong connection to anyone else in her family besides maybe Diamondback. She thinks Diamondback wants to be friends with her and get to know her more, but she doesn't really know, and she doesn't really want friends anyway. She does like spending time with Bat, though. Well, she doesn't really like friends that much, except for her best friend and long-distance friend, Siren at Cedar Point. They are best friends and they love being in each other's company. I think I did a pretty good job at designing this character, and I think she actually looks pretty cool. I think the colors look good with her, and I think I also did a very good job at drawing her tail and making the tail do an inversion, just like the actual coaster has. The next character is Mystic Timbers. Mystic is a dragon on the younger side of the Kings Island family. Beast sort of acts as like a dad or a mentor to Mystic. Mystic is a quick, fast flyer, and Mystic comes off as creepy or ominous to some of the other dragons, as he spends a lot of time in an old, creepy, overgrown shed for some reason, and he always tells other dragons never to go in there. None of the other dragons really know why. They don't know if he's hiding anything. They don't know what is in there. He just loves to spend time in his shed. Besides that, he's pretty talkative, and he likes to spend time with his family, especially Diamondback, Beast, and Orion. Mystic loves spending time in the wilderness, in the forest, and just nature in general. I think I did a pretty good job at designing this character, and I think he looks pretty cool. I really like his personality, and I really like how I gave him like antlers and put moss on him to give more of that forest atmosphere, like the actual coaster's theming. Racer is a two-headed dragon, one named Red and one named Blue, of course. Like you can expect, since they're literally always next to each other, they can pick fights, sort of get in a sibling rivalry together, even if they still love each other. It just is a lot for them to always be next to each other, but it's what they've always known, so they've learned to deal with it. Red and Blue are the oldest of the coaster family at Kings Island, and act as sort of grandpas to the rest of their family. Red and Blue absolutely love telling tales of old times and old stories in the history of their home, Kings Island, to all of Coasterkind who is willing to listen about the stories of the past. They reminisce on old times with the Beast, but they still enjoy the modern time. They just love the history of all of Coasterkind and the Coaster Kingdoms in general. Red and Blue love spending time with Beast, and they've known each other for a really long time. As Beast absolutely loves to talk about the park's history too. When I was drawing this character, I had a hard time making it look like it was actually a two-headed dragon, and not just a two-sided dragon with different colors. But yes, Racer is two-headed, and in this world I am making of these characters, all racing and dueling coasters that have separate tracks are two-headed dragons. If they are a Mobius racing coaster like Twisted Colossus at Magic Mountain, they only have two tails instead of having two heads, since they are not two separate tracks. But Racer is two separate tracks. That's why he's a two-headed dragon. Honestly, I think I could have done better on the design of this character, but I still think he looks decent, and if I'm being honest, I kind of rushed this design a little bit, because I wanted to get all the speed paints done for this video. Our next character is Diamondback. Diamondback is wild and energetic, while also being a bit of a slick talker at the same time. Sometimes she can come off as annoyed or selfish, but she's really not. That's just her personality and how she acts. She loves to do fun things with her friends, and she just really loves adventure and anything along those lines. She can get a bit competitive with her brother Orion, as Orion kind of stole that Kings Island height record from her. But they're still best friends and they still love each other. Diamondback is definitely an extrovert. She also wants to be a close friend to Banshee, even if Banshee definitely does not want to be friends. Diamondback is adventurous and she likes to visit other parks, especially in ones where she can talk to other hyper-class coaster kind. Diamondback loves to swim and splash in water. And I know you guys are thinking, that character is not a dragon, that character is just a snake with B&M track as its body. And you would be right. That's because in the world I am making with these characters, coasters that are themed to snakes will just be snake characters. Just like how coasters that are themed to cats in this world, like big cats like, say, King Ka or Pantherian, will be just whatever cat they're based off of with wings. And other coasters might also be other animals other than dragons too. Like how coasters themed about griffins or birds might be griffins instead of dragons. I really like the design I made for Diamondback, and I think she'll be a really cool character in the story. Our next character is Beast, one of the oldest coasters in the Kings Island coaster family. Beast is old and wise and lives deep in the woods. Very deep in the woods. Beast has always been a good, reliable friend for Racer. They always loved talking to each other and saying the history of the park. He's also a good friend and mentor for Mystic. He spends his time lurking and prowling in the deep woods of Kings Island. Beast is world famous in the Coaster Kingdoms, and he's a legend known far and wide throughout all the parks. When Beast was younger, he used to let all that fame get to his head, and he got a little cocky, but Racer kind of told him about it, and when he got more old and he grew, and he became more wise, he lost that part of him that was arrogant, and he's not really arrogant anymore, even if he's still a famous, iconic coaster. He's always very understanding and kind to everyone. Beast is very strong and can fly long distances, and he absolutely loves to fly very far. There is one thing though. Beast never really did recover from his dead son. That still kind of haunts him to this day, but he doesn't really try to think about his son anymore, even though he really misses him. I actually really love this design I have for the Beast. I think this design really fits the Beast's old, wise personality and makes him look very strong like he is. I also think I did a good job at combining like how the logo looks and his claws and the handcuffs on him. I think this design is probably my favorite of all the Kings Island dragons I've made. Maybe besides Banshee. I think I did a pretty good job at that design too. In the comments down below, please tell me what your favorite coaster dragon I drew today was, and I will definitely be making more videos like this, and I am planning to do a webcomic with these characters. If you want to make a video like this, making different roller coasters as characters, of course you can. Anyway guys, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, and make sure to have a very axolotl day. Bye!